What if this 2007 Utah State quarter in your pocket is hiding a four-figure surprise? Some of the finest certified Utah quarters and dramatic mint error examples have reached $100, $725, and even higher in elite grades, verified numismatic record only, turning one ordinary state quarter into the kind of discovery collectors dream about. Coin Identifier Plus 2. At first glance, it feels like just another 25-cent coin from the 50 state quarters era. Two locomotives racing toward the golden spike, the powerful crossroads of the West design, and a reverse that already carries American railroad history. But the real shock begins when the strike quality is razor sharp, the rails show full separation, the luster stays untouched, and the surfaces glow in mint state perfection. That's the exact moment this everyday pocket coin starts transforming into a rare collector treasure. The suspense builds around one powerful truth. Most Utah quarters stay face value, but a tiny number become premium collector targets because of condition and error rarity. A coin graded MS-67 can already jump into impressive collector territory, while an MS-68 quality example becomes dramatically scarcer and far more desirable. Coin Identifier Plus 1. Now comes the part that keeps viewers watching. The Utah reverse design gives collectors several hotspots for rare error discoveries. Look closely at the center rails. This is where doubling, grease strikes, clash traces, and die shifts can create major value shocks. Some examples with missing clad layers, partial design weakness, visible rim shifts, or dramatic die chips around the locomotives have crossed into $25, $60, and hundreds at auction depending on severity and certification. Verified numismatic record only. Coin Identifier Plus 1. That's what makes this coin such a cinematic story. 1 second, it's just a quarter mixed in with spare change. The next second, under the light, the rails look doubled. The word Utah 1896 shows unusual spacing, or the rim appears uneven from a collar issue. Suddenly, the coin in your hand no longer feels ordinary. It feels like a hidden mint mystery from 2007 waiting to be authenticated. And emotionally, that transformation is what makes the story so powerful. An everyday state quarter becomes a historical artifact of the Transcontinental Railroad and a potential error coin headline at the same time. Collector demand rises even more when the coin preserves its original frosty luster, clean fields, and no circulation friction. A normal circulated example may only be worth face value. But once a top-grade strike or visible mint error enters the picture, the value ladder starts climbing in layers. First a few dollars, then double digits, then triple digits, then the rare auction-level shock moment. That slow escalation keeps the suspense alive all the way to the end. So before you spend another Utah quarter, inspect the locomotives, study the center rails, check for die chips, rim shifts, off-center strikes, and any missing clad anomalies. Because the next 2007 Utah State quarter you almost ignore could turn out to be a rare, numismatic crossover between history, condition rarity, and mint error drama. Applies only to authenticated rare dates, mint errors, and certified high-grade specimens. And if hidden treasures in everyday quarters fascinate you, stay tuned, because the next coin in your pocket might tell an even bigger story than this one. Holding a 25-cent coin in your hand, something so ordinary, so ignored, that most people wouldn't even glance at it twice. But what if I told you that same coin has secretly shown up in auction rooms, where collectors were willing to fight over it, pushing bids into the thousands, sometimes even more than $10,000, top-grade examples depending on condition and authentication. And that's exactly where this story begins. Because this isn't just any coin. This is the 2002 Indiana State quarter. At first glance, it looks completely normal. A simple U.S. quarter. But hidden inside its metal is a story tied to American history, engineering mistakes, and collector obsession that most people will never understand. This coin was minted in 2002 by the United States Mint under the famous 50-state quarters program. It came from two locations, the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark and the Denver Mint marked with a small d. Millions upon millions were produced. But here's the twist that changes everything. Not all coins are created equal. Some of these quarters were struck during moments of production stress, where dies were worn, machines were misaligned, and errors slipped through unnoticed. And those mistakes are exactly what turned 25 cents into something worth thousands. We're talking about rare error coins like off-center strikes, where the entire design is shifted like it was stamped in a hurry. We're talking about double die errors, where letters like Liberty or In God We Trust appear slightly doubled under magnification. We're talking about die cracks, where raised lines slowly form across the surface like lightning frozen in metal. And in some extreme cases, wrong planche errors, where a quarter blank from another coin type accidentally gets struck with Indiana's design. Now, let's talk about what happens when collectors find one of these in perfect condition. A normal circulated Indiana quarter? Still 25 cents, but a clean uncirculated example? That can jump into the range of $50 to $300 depending on demand and strike quality. Top grade examples depending on condition and authentication. Now, here comes the shocking part. Rare certified mint error examples of the 2002 Indiana quarter have been reported in auction environments reaching $1,000, $3,000, and in extreme collector competition cases even $8,000 to $12,000. Top grade examples depending on condition and authentication. And yes, in ultra-high grade MS67 or MS68 condition, with flawless surfaces and strong luster, collectors have pushed bidding wars into unexpected territory where values can spike dramatically. Top grade examples depending on condition and authentication. But the real secret isn't just value, it's identification. Because if you don't know what to look for, you could be holding a rare coin and never realize it. On the front side, you'll see George Washington facing left. The inscriptions read, Liberty, In God We Trust, and the year 2002. A small mint mark P or D appears under the year depending on origin. But the reverse is where Indiana tells its story. A race car speeds forward at full force, representing the Indianapolis 500, one of the most iconic races in the world. Behind it are 19 stars symbolizing Indiana as the 19th state in the U.S. Union. The word Indiana is bold, powerful, and unmistakable. But here's what most people miss. The details inside that design can reveal everything. If the race car looks slightly doubled, that's a red flag for a mint error. If the lettering appears thicker than normal, that could be a doubled die. If the surface shows raised bumps or lines, that could be die deterioration or cracking. And if the coin looks off in alignment, even slightly, that could mean an off-center strike that collectors actively hunt for. Now let's go deeper, because condition is everything. A heavily circulated coin, scratched, faded, worn from daily use, usually holds no premium value. But a coin that looks like it was just minted yesterday, with sharp edges, full shine, and no contact marks, can jump into collector territory instantly. That's where grading services come in. Coins graded MS65, MS66, MS67, MS68, those numbers represent perfection levels, and each step higher can multiply value dramatically. Top grade examples depending on condition and authentication. And here's the part that hits hardest. Most of these coins are still out there, still sitting in jars, still in old drawers, still being spent at stores without a second thought, which means the next rare Indiana quarter could literally be in your hands right now. And that's what makes this so powerful. It's not just history, it's not just metal, it's a hidden lottery sitting inside everyday change. Now imagine this. You go through your pocket change tonight, and you spot a small detail everyone else ignored. And suddenly that 25-cent coin isn't just change anymore. It's a discovery. Maybe $1,000. Maybe $5,000. Maybe more. Top grade examples depending on condition and authentication. And that's why collectors never stop looking. Because they know the truth. The biggest finds don't come from museums. They come from paying attention to what everyone else throws away. So right now, I want you to do one simple thing. Check your coins. Slow down for just a second, because that tiny piece of metal in your hand might be hiding a story worth far more than you ever imagined. And if this blew your mind, make sure you subscribe, because the next coin we uncover might not just be valuable,